Does immersive user-generated content excite you? Then stay tuned. Hello, my name is Alexis Mercedes. I am the project manager for Fractal Labs. We are an app development team that is passionate about improving the UX of XR. On this channel, we document the intersection of Web3 and augmented reality as it unfolds. I've got a new background, I hope you like it. In this video, we'll review 13 different augmented reality experiences in an effort to suss out all the best practices. AR is a video overlay in real time, like an Instagram filter or a virtual try-on. You'll be seeing screen recordings from my iPhone using the Over app, because AR is viewed through a mobile device. Yes, it's free. Yes, it works on Android. And yes, you can experience every single one of these publications on your own, live in the comfort of your own home. I'll have all the details in the description box below. Also, I got a new puppy. I'll be using pictures of him as transition slides. You're welcome. Kicking us off at number 1 is something new from Medigate. They are a creative team known for place-based and interactive content. I love that this one gives us a language option from the get-go. I'd love to see this implementation become standard practice. The animation is spectacular, and it's a great reminder of how AR can be used for fashion. AR is the only way that one could view this live, 3D, and larger than life. The second AR I want to show you is Amelie's gnome, because it is the perfect example of AR as special effects. Note the scale of this character is slightly smaller than a person, which makes it a lot easier to get in frame. The publication is mostly negative space, so the SFX don't have to compete with reality. On the opposite end of using AR as SFX, we can think of AR as VR, like this wooden museum experience. Like I said, AR is a video overlay. In contrast, VR is more immersive. It replaces reality rather than augmenting it. Because they've built the museum as a 3D object rather than using the walls as a skybox for the experience, it really does blur the line of AR and VR. I think technically it's AR, but you get all the benefits of VR with it as well. 4 and 5 are galleries that are going to teach us about occlusion.
So occlusion in AR refers to which objects can appear in front of other objects. In the case of this art gallery, you can see that a lot of the art pieces are disappearing behind the real walls of my house. That's because occlusion is on, and I can turn occlusion off right here. And voila, now the pieces appear in front of, well, everything. That is something that as creators we get to decide what will have occlusion on and what won't. I like to have human occlusion always turned on so that my hand or a body can pass in front of the AR item, but the pieces won't disappear behind things that aren't human, like my wall. Let's also take a moment to appreciate just how beautiful the work is. It's stunning.
Gallery 5 is by the same person.
New artist, same AR publisher, just like the last gallery. Since AR occlusion is on, my hand, the walls, and everything else just passes in front of the art. Now, last time I turned occlusion off in order to be able to see the art, but this time I decided to give ourselves some more space instead. See, now that it's outdoors, there's nothing blocking the view. It's not occluded by anything. And out in this giant space, we can see just a little bit of everything. If I was outside, I'd be able to walk up close and see the art pieces as if they were enormous, which is a really exciting effect.
You can tell by the thumbnail that this was meant to be viewed in a large space. How you choose to offer occlusion to the viewer really depends on where you imagine they'll be viewing it from. Number 6 is by our friend Mince. This experience really taught me about how AR interacts with mirrors.
With AR occlusion turned on, the bear disappears behind the wall because it's farther away from me than the supposed wall. But on the balcony, you can see it because the glass doesn't occlude it, only the wall does. It's a pretty cool demo. But let's see what happens when I involve a mirror. It's almost as if we're looking at the bear's reflection in the mirror itself, but truly what's happening is that the sensors projecting the AR perceive the mirror to be a lot like glass. So we can kind of pass behind the wall, but then still be visible in the mirror itself, even though the mirror is flush with the wall. Am I the only one who thinks that's cool? To prove it's not a fluke, I tested it in front of another mirror. It's a super tall mirror, so at the top, his ears are kind of almost occluded by the wall. Consistent with the earlier behavior, he's able to pass into the mirror as if it was a doorway. It's a really amazing effect that allows me to interact with the imagery without having to be on the other side of the camera.
With mixed reality adventures using AR as an overlay in a physical space, imagine what could be designed for a mirrored room in particular. Number 7 today is an enormous skyscraper. As you can see, it doesn't fit in my living room at all. But there were cues that there were more details to be seen, and I was determined to find them. By standing on my balcony and replacing the plane to match the ground level rather than my apartment floor, I could come parallel to some of the more detailed features. I also used the walk mode to reposition myself as the viewer further away from the building to get a bigger view. This one teaches us a lot about scale when designing for AR.
Number 8 is a very impressive, very interactive game. I want to thank Ebro for bringing it to my attention. I was so excited when I got to play it. It's very impressive that there are 2 players, like it can take turns. And FYI, this music is native to the experience itself.
Number 9 I found by interacting with the Over Discord community. It got me really excited about something that usually does not interest me, football. I attribute that interest to their excellent use of sound.
Is a good bet. You want to bet on a personality? You just found the one to lay your money down on.
This is pretty sweet. He's going to do a victory lap.
The way that they mixed voice with music made it really pleasant to listen to. Also, it wasn't a short loop that gets repetitive over and over again. It was a nice long soundtrack. Short loops can become grating on the ear. Spatial computing, like augmented reality, can also use sound in ways where the environment determines the sound. So if I, as the viewer, was standing closer to the video, perhaps the video would play loudly, and if I was standing farther away from it, it would sound quieter. This way, sound can be just as important as any visual in the augmented reality experience.
No, he's not going to plant at the midfield of the O, is he? Wow. Yes, he is.
Number 10 on our list I came across because it was one of the winners of the Over Creator contest, this time showcasing experiences that are also games. This is the one that made me want to stay and play. These are the kind of games that I foresee coming to the mobile app store sooner than later. One might assume that the demand for such a thing will increase once Apple releases their XR headset to the public. That's my speculation. 11 and 12 come from a creator I don't recall ever seeing before. I can't give you too much of the audio because I believe YouTube would flag it as copyrighted content, but here's the sample. I want to pull out the best practices shown here of displaying a music video inside of AR. What's great is where the user is located within the context of the space. The initial starting point is disorienting and fun and cool. If there was an award for best AR snakes, I think this would win. Notice the bonus dancer way off to the side. Surprises are good. Number 12 is another music video brought to us by the same creator. Rather than changing the environment that I'm in, this time the music video is put on an amazing display. It feels larger than life. As I show you these clips, you are getting a taste for what it's like to view them, but I refer to these publications as experiences because they are exactly that. It's something to experience, and seeing these recordings is only a small taste of what it's actually like to use it. A lot of times they really give me the feels. The experience here is seeing a music video displayed in a way that feels as though the screen is enormous. And it also has a bonus dancer off in the distance. Perhaps that's this creator's calling card. If so, that's a good one. That's a good calling card. Number 13 brings us some beautiful buns. We've got food in the metaverse. Over the reality and other AR applications allow you to use some really high def imagery. It's so pretty. Look at these pretty buns. It's a good time to note that the publications you find on this app are user-generated content. It's people like you and me who decide what to put on here. Parritabrava is somebody that we see publish all the time, and I love seeing their work. Perhaps this was done as a gift to a specific person or as publicity to a certain brand. There are a lot of different applications. Surprise! A bonus 14th AR treat. I wanted to show off another one of Parritabrava's food expositions. This one featuring meats. Sorry if this grosses out any vegan viewers out there, but I personally think this is beautiful. Whether it's an AR map, a mobile app, or a website, user experience is what's going to determine whether or not the publication is good. My hot tip for whichever you're designing is a user story. User stories map out every touch point that the user will encounter while using your product. For some, the user story is finding a YouTube video like this, deciding to download the Over app, and then clicking on one of the links in the description box in order to view one of these experiences on their own. Next, the publication is loaded and they find themselves in one particular area. This is another touch point, deciding where the user's viewpoint is within the greater context. Once they're there, how will they know your name? Now that you've done the very difficult task of getting those eyes onto your project, how do you want them to follow up? Perhaps the last step of that user story is tapping something in the experience, which brings you to a LinkedIn page, and then getting a new contact. If you've got the idea and you want to build it, Fractal Labs has you covered. We're experts in user experience design, and we build mobile apps and websites and AR experiences.
I'm still wondering how AR is going to impact social media. Maybe we will stick to videos, using more videos that feature AR. I see something more drastic where sharing 3D models and custom video overlays become the social media itself as a new way of self-expression and creation.
If you watched this far and haven't liked or followed yet, please take a second to do that. And I'll see you some other Tuesday for more content on the intersection of AR and Web3. Goodbye.